When I tell new clients they're going to be the strongest they've ever been before with minimal time, I'm not joking. I'm going to take you guys through the process of how I train my clients on the IsoMax, what are average things that my clients expect, and of course, more importantly, what are the results? First, what I want to cover is what do our clients want? Usually when clients seek me out for the IsoMax, they are seeking out strength and the ability to develop lean muscle mass with minimal injury because of the dangers of dynamic lifting. Now, I'm never going to say to a client, don't perform any dynamic lifts. That is just incorrect. The human body is designed to move. That being said, though, there are specific scenarios where I have clients that do their dynamic stuff on their own and they seek me out for just the isometrics, which is totally fine. I have clients that are isometric and that's all they want to do. That's totally fine. I have them on a cardio program so that they're still moving. Following that up, there are usually three types of clients that seek me out for this type of training. The first one is our weight loss client. The second one is our strength and tone up client, which is pretty much what I'm used to. I've been doing personal training since 2016, so those are the usual two I get. What I've noticed though with the IsoMax and isometric clients is that they are seeking me out for a new third one that's cropping up, which I've noticed, which is they just want to gain strength. Now, strength, I'm not talking about just like the Bruce Lee type of strength or the Alexander Zast type of strength, which you certainly can get with overcoming isometric training. 100%. That's why those two, among other legendary figures, perform this type of training. But even just the increase of ADLs, which stands for activity of daily living, this third category tends to be more toward seniors. And this is the 55 and up category, which is totally fine. You know what I really like is that it's actually helping. How long are our personal training sessions and how many sessions do we have per week? This is a loaded question. It does depend on what the client is seeking out. If the client is a weight loss client, they want the isometrics from me. I recommend 3 times a week, 2 at minimum, but usually 3 times a week. Remember, frequency is really important. Even though the duration of these sessions aren't nearly as long as their dynamic equivalent, we still need that frequency. We still need enough time under tension to stimulate the response that the client is looking for so that they get results. For weight loss clients and toning up clients, it tends to be about 2 to 3 times a week. We also sometimes get our veterans who have been lifting for a while and they know the value of isometric training and they just want me to either program them or have virtual one-on-one sessions that complement their dynamic training, and we have just an isometric session. Those tend to be 4 to 5 times a week. And then we have that third category I was just talking about, the strength onlys, and they are also 3 to 4 times a week. Usually though, they're 4. So as you can probably already tell, it tends to be around 3 times a week. How long are the sessions? They also tend to be around 45 minutes. I usually have my in-house clients that I train in the weight room about 45 minutes. I found that that really consistently works. The question that you might be asking, this is a really good question, is, well, if these isometric sessions don't take as long, why would you have a 45-minute session? I have some clients that are only 30 minutes. What we tend to find though is that how I program them is not the Bruce Lee type of method. If I have a client that's seeking me out for programming and they have a lot of volume in the weight room, I tend to have them do a 1 or 2 by 6. For the clients that I have that are vastly more isometric in nature, we're going to run into these Promethean and the burn count type of programs. So if you haven't seen either of those videos, here's a link right here. Go ahead and check that out. Wait, 3, 2, 1, and then here's a link right here. And you can check that one out. The burn count really sucked, by the way, but these are programs that Dragon Door has created, and I've been doing programs for a long time, and so I kind of understood where they were going, why they programmed their programs the way that they did, and then I took the knowledge that I have as a personal trainer and then accustomed it to the client that's seeking me out. So essentially tailoring it to the client, which I just have that dialed down to a T. I do this all the time. It's what I do for a living. I haven't given a single client a program from Dragon Door. It's not that they don't work, it's that I just custom tailor to them. So what are the exercises that I give them? Let me give you an example of one. So I have a client who is in their 70s. They are looking for just general strength, health, and wellness, all right? So I gave them a cardio program that they are to do 3 times a week. When they finish their cardio program, they log it in on the app I set them up with once they give me their email, right? And then we have our 3 sessions a week on the IsoMax. They do take about 30 minutes. I'm running them through about 5 different different exercises. Now, keep in mind, if you've never had a personal training session, it's not always just going right into the workout session without any, conversing. Personal trainings are just that, they're personal. All right, so we're chatting. We're not chatting for like half the session or anything. I want to make sure that the client gets their money's worth. But there is some downtime where, as we're switching up the strap after we do, for example, a 6x6, ask how the weekend was going and stuff like that. So it does tend to push the session time a little bit more with the small talk, and it's just natural. If you've had a personal trainer, you know what I'm talking about. A 6x6 on paper, and I think you guys know where I'm going with this. A 6x6 on paper takes roughly about 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. If the lift gets really freaking taxing, it might take 4 to 5 minutes. How many people have been through a 6x6 and right around the 4th set, they're like, yo, I need a little bit more than 20 seconds. All right, I get it, So, and of course, everybody's coming into this type of training at a different level. What I found is that even the athletes still need a second. This is a different type of training. They're not used to this type of training. There's training specificity, which is somehow a video I haven't talked about yet. How's that even possible? But roughly, if we're just talking about 6x6, about 5 different workouts. Let's say, for example, my client that I was just referring to, we're doing a pull day. So we have the bent over row, we have the seated row, we have the bicep curl, we have the spider curl, right, for some variety, so we sit down for it, and then we have the reverse curl. All right, so let's say we're going through a 6-week program, which is usually what I do, a 6-week program, 8 if necessary. It depends on the client and what they're trying to do. After that, sometimes I might not even change anything with that program except the strap number. I might change it by 1 or 2 notches, either above or below, or I'll swap out an exercise for a similar one. So for example, I might swap out the reverse curl for the finger pull, an exercise that we've talked about all of like 5 times over the entire 3-year history of this channel. How's that possible? That's a great exercise, by the way. So long story short, it depends on what the client's looking for. All right, so it's been about 2.5 years of training clients on this device. Here's what I've noticed about setbacks. First of all, and I've mentioned this many times on the channel, you're not always gonna have an on day. Just like in the weight room, you're not always gonna have an on day. Sometimes you're gonna walk in that weight room and the regular dumbbell that you've been using for the last couple weeks feels twice as heavy. It's just how it is. It's never going to be a linear progression. It's always going to be, and I know you guys that have been on the squad for a while, you already know what I'm about to say, right? The peaks and valleys. You have great sessions, you have crap sessions. Great crap. But do you notice it's trending upwards? It's not always linear like that. It's ups and downs, but it's trending up with the peaks and valleys. Does that make sense? That's literally how success works. There's always going to be peaks and valleys. You're never just going to have a linear win. I'd love to see that. So don't always expect the numbers to go well. When I have a client that I'm training on the IsoMax and it's just like, hey, listen, this might be an off week. Now, with that being said, it makes me look like a fortune teller. When I tell them that up front, we're going to have weeks where the numbers are just down. Don't beat yourself up over it. It helps with the motivation. It's not that I'm trying to be a motivational speaker. It's just the truth. All right, you know that from years of lifting, you know that through exercise science. You need to prep them for that so that they know in advance not to get hung up on the numbers that day. All right, because it can be a little deflating when you just gave your 100% effort into a lift and you get 20 freaking pounds lower. It just happened to me before I started recording, believe it or not. There are some times where I have a client and they consistently start dropping. So that's when I'll start to ask, hey, how's your sleep? How's your eating? Are you stressed out right now? Is there anything going on in your life? And then I can, based off of what they tell me, I can start to piece together the overall puzzle and then make adjustments when necessary. This is part of being a trainer. I'm just so used to it now, but hopefully this makes sense. On to the next part. What are the results like? So what to expect in the first month for all my clients over the last 32 months? I've noticed that each client goes up by about 20%, whether this is a Isometric-Only client or a cross-training client where they're doing isometrics in addition to other things. It tends to be a 20% jump. I've had clients go higher than that. I've had clients go a little bit lower than that, but not too much, because the volume is there and they're giving it everything they have. You can't beat numbers. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. Numbers don't lie for a reason. Now, if you really want to see what these numbers look like in detail, I have a video on 5 different clients that I trained on the IsoMax or IsoChain, which you can find right here. Thanks for watching.